Live from the French Quarter, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
The stakes are high tonight as thousands scurry to the polls to cast those last-minute votes for the midterm election. It's a vote that could decide whether the GOP takes back the U.S. Senate for the first time in 8 years. Right now, Republicans are trying to edge out Democrats in several battleground states, including here in Louisiana. But the Democrats are not giving up. Meanwhile, a number of local races on the ballot are being spotlighted, from judgeships to amendments and important tax issues. WWL is here to tell you everything you need to know before the polls close at 8 p.m. Our team election coverage begins now. Good evening, I'm Karen Swenson.
And I'm Natalie Shepard. Well, there are only 2 hours left to cast your vote in the midterm elections. And with tonight's close U.S. Senate race, every vote is crucial.
Incumbent Mary Landrieu, Congressman Bill Cassidy, and Tea Party-style candidate Rob Maness are all vying for Louisiana's U.S. Senate seat. And a runoff, of course, is expected.
Well, right now, we have crews spread across southeast Louisiana to bring you the very latest as the candidates patiently wait for the results. And we kick things off tonight with Tanya Dahl, who is live at Landrieu's headquarters at the Hyatt Regency in New Orleans. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Natalie and Karen. As you just mentioned, polls do close in less than 2 hours, and Senator Landrieu has been spending the day trying to win over last-minute votes, and as you can imagine, she's hoping to hold on for a fourth term. Take a look at this video. She was out earlier today casting her ballot in Orleans Parish this morning in what is expected to be a very tough race. The outcome of this Senate race in Louisiana could determine the balance of power that's up for grabs in the U.S. Senate. Right now, Landrieu is in a three-way contest with Representative Bill Cassidy and Rob Maness, but she trails in a head-to-head matchup with either candidate in a runoff. This race is expected to go to a December 6th runoff between Landrieu and her main GOP challenger, Representative Cassidy. You know, she's been out and about campaigning now for several months. A lot of her campaign platform has been focused on her work post-Hurricane Katrina, helping with the BP oil spill, improving the rights of women and military families, among other key issues. Landrieu is expected to get here later tonight. Someone in her camp says she should be here by about 8 o'clock, and that's when this watch party will kick off. Of course, we'll have live updates for you throughout the night, and you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Reporting live at the Hyatt, Tanya Dahl, Eyewitness News.
Tanya, thank you. And challenger Congressman Bill Cassidy declined several debate invitations during the campaign, but has worked to link Mary Landrieu to President Obama. So will it work in his favor? Paul Murphy joins us live from Cassidy's headquarters in Baton Rouge. Paul?
Well, Bill Cassidy's campaign election eve gathering doesn't really kick off until about 8 o'clock this evening, but there are a few Cassidy supporters roaming the halls here at the Crown Plaza in Baton Rouge. Cassidy supporters are fairly confident the congressman will at least make a runoff tonight with incumbent Senator Mary Landrieu. A recent Gannett poll had Cassidy at 35% down the stretch to Landrieu's 36%. But as we know, the only poll that really counts is the one taken on election night. Former Congressman Jeff Landry gave me some insight into some of the things the Cassidy camp will be watching tonight.
We'll be watching those Republican precincts, the Lafayette area, the Baton Rouge area, the North Shore, Jefferson Parish, Bossier City, Bossier Parish as well. You know, those areas, if those Republican precincts are turning out in great numbers and the numbers are strong on the Republican side, then it'll mean that change is coming to Louisiana as far as the U.S. Senate seat.
And another former Congressman, Joseph Gall of New Orleans, is also expected to speak tonight here at the Cassidy campaign headquarters. We're live in Baton Rouge. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Paul. And polls show that Colonel Rob Maness is in third place for the U.S. Senate race, but he is making headway. Maness spent the last days of the campaign traveling the state trying to get out the vote. Jacqueline Kelly is live tonight from Maness's headquarters at Rock and Bowl in Mid-City. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, Karen. You know, as you just mentioned, he spent the last 4 days of this election traveling the state, trying to cover as much ground as possible. It's all a part of his Trucking to Victory tour, and today he made the final stops in that tour, meeting with supporters and attending rallies before casting his own vote in Madisonville this afternoon. Now, as part of Maness's grassroots campaign, he visited all 64 parishes and did 50 town halls, and he all did it in his pickup truck, traveling over 85,000 miles. And the Maness campaign says after meeting so many people and being on the ground, they're very optimistic and say because they continue to do this all the way up until Election Day, they believe they were able to garner more last-minute supporters than any other candidate. Now, some of the polling we've seen shows Maness trailing Cassidy and Landrieu, but there's no doubt that Maness is definitely the wild card in this Senate race and could definitely shake things up. Now, the Maness campaign told me today that in a poll released today, it shows Maness actually beating Landrieu in a runoff. Now, whether that happens, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it certainly has Maness supporters hopeful. We're live from the Maness headquarters at Rock and Roll. Jacqueline Kelly, Eyewitness News.
Jacqueline, thank you. Well, voters are saying it is the combination of nice weather and wanting to make a difference in the close Senate race that is motivating them to cast their ballots. Meg Ferris got opinions today from voters on both sides of the 17th Street Canal.
At this precinct on Edinburgh, the fire station in Old Metairie, they said it has been steady, and they had a line of about 15 people at 6 a.m. when they opened. One of the machines was broken, but they said within 15 minutes, someone came out and fixed it.
I do think it's a Senate race. I think a lot of people, they've been seeing a lot of stuff on TV and that. It's really been pushing people to come in and vote.
My vote can help change the way the government is going to be run and what's good for our citizens, our country, and especially our military.
It is the same feeling in Orleans.
It's important to vote, get your opinions down, and it was an important race. I mean, this is going to sway the Congress either way.
Every vote counts, and I encourage everybody to get back in on the voting wagon.
In Jefferson and Orleans, there were many amendments that took time to understand.
I just wish they would word them to where people, the average person could understand them. You have to read through them 2 or 3 times and try and decide, understand what they're talking about.
And at these 2 precincts here, they're expecting higher than the national average when it comes to turnout, higher than 50%. I'm Meg Ferris, Eyewitness News.
Well, you won't have to worry about the weather if you're headed out to the polls tonight, but you could see some fog on your morning commute. Chief Meteorologist Carl Arredondo joins us now with more on that. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Natalie. Yeah, that's probably the only weather issue we have to deal with in the next 12 hours or so. But right now, it's pretty nice outside. As you look at pinpoint Doppler radar, looking north of the lake, just a few clouds, no rain showing up. Same story south of the lake, a few high clouds drifting on through the area. North of the lake, we're in the 60s to around 70. South of the lake, still holding on to the low 70s. As you check out your planner for the rest of the evening, right now about 71 on the south shore, upper 60s north of the lake. Any chance of rain very, very low at 10%. By 8 o'clock in the upper 60s across the south shore, mid 60s north of the lake. And by 10 o'clock, as the polls close at 8, later on at 10, still a 10% chance of rain with temperatures in the 60s still on both sides of the lake. So looking good for the evening hours if you still have to go out and cast your vote. Now, coming up in my full forecast, we'll talk about that rain chance coming for midweek with our next front that's going to bring back the cooler weather.
Thanks, Carl. Former Governor Edwin Edwards is hoping to revive his political career in tonight's fight for the 6th congressional district seat. Edwards is one of a dozen candidates in that race. Bill Capo is live at Edwards' campaign headquarters in Baton Rouge with more on that. Hi, Bill.
We're at the Baton Rouge Renaissance Hotel. You can see the sign is up behind us, Edwards for Congress. The food is arriving. The bar is ready. The volunteers for the campaign will be showing up in a few minutes. With me right now is Leo Honeycutt, campaign spokesman. How do you all feel as the voting comes to an end?
Oh, we're very, very excited. He's certainly going to make the runoff for sure. Of course, it's going to be quite an uphill battle probably going into December, but even then, Edwin Edwards is one person I would never underestimate.
What's been the reaction to him out on the campaign trail?
Well, the funny thing about going to the debates and that kind of thing, the most thing that I'm hearing is that even Republicans are saying he makes sense. He makes more sense than almost everybody else.
And this is a heavily Republican district with everybody else is a Republican. Basically.
That's exactly right. So you're wondering why in the world would a liberal Democrat run I asked him that question, and I'm not sure that I ever really got a straight answer, but he said, well, Leo, this is what I do. This is what I can do, and he really does have some great ideas in Congress. Now, whether he gets there, that's going to be up to the voter.
He's 87. How is he doing physically and mentally?
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever see 87. And this guy acts like he's 60 years old, maybe 58, but he's still so sharp. And that's what I really can't get. How does this guy just keep going?
And if he's in the runoff, we're going to be a very interesting runoff.
It will be an interesting runoff. Never count him down.
Leo Honeycutt, thanks so much. So we're here at the Baton Rouge Renaissance Hotel. He'll be here in a while. We'll be following it all evening. Could be a long time with so many candidates in the race and such a complicated ballot before we actually know how things wrap up. But we'll be here. Reporting live, I'm Bill Capo, Eyewitness News.
Congress several decades ago. Don't forget to check out all our website information for you. We'll have everything you need to know before heading to the polls. You can see a sample ballot and search voting locations. Time is running out. You got 2 hours left. Just log on to WWLTV.com. So after the polls close at 8, then you will see the latest election results on the ticker at the bottom of your screen. CBS will begin its network coverage at 9 p.m. and then we'll have local updates throughout the night. Stay tuned for extensive coverage on Eyewitness News at 10 as well.
A 14-year-old is in custody tonight after police say she shot her mother in the face. What led to the incident and where that case stands now. Plus, our election coverage continues. Next, we take a look at an intriguing race on the North Shore to replace an embattled incumbent. And later in sports, the Pelicans are back home tonight. Doug Mouton has a preview up ahead.